Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at the Da Vinci class. So I'll be looking at the Vanity shields available from the Dilithium store during certain events of the year, and also the only one that's currently available from the Zen store. As always, chapters are in the description down below, along with several other links that I'll cover off at the end of the video. So the first shield is the Alliance Vanity Shield. So this is part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle in the Zen store, which also contains the uniform and an upgrade. And this is currently the only shield that's available in the Zen store. So for the shield, we've got this white patterned hull material. We've got some grey shading, some gold shading, and some red piping as well. Then we have this lovely patterned cyan deflector array there. We have the orange plasma effect there for the Bassard collectors. We have the cyan there for the nacelles themselves. And then if we zoom in a bit, we can see that triangular pattern. You can see the different hues there as the light's reflecting off it. So again, this is the standard effect on the hull material on Alliance ships such as the Rex, the Garrett, the Khitomer and so forth. So replicating that in the Vanity shield is a really nice touch. Then we've got the red, orange, yellow, white and back again there for the impulse engines. There's some more of the gold shading there as well. And we go to the underside, and more of that white pattern material there, more of the gold shading, more of the grey shading, and a touch more of the cyan lighting there as well. I see this thruster effect there coming off the impulse engines as we were levelling the ship out. So let's have a look at the engine trail. So it's the standard red and blue of the Federation vessels in this one. It's not went to the cyan lighting there for the nacelle, or even a resemblance of the impulse engine colouring off of this shield. Moving on to the Dilithium store now. So this is a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity shield. So we see this different shades of grey and this almost urban camouflage pattern to it. Nice golden yellow deflector, and we always seem to get this green lighting effect with this deflector on this shield. Then we have the gold there for the Bassard collectors, the goldish yellow there for the cells, then with the same there for the impulse engines with this red painted lighting effect still present, unfortunately. Then the underside, we've got some more of that yellowish gold lighting effects and more of that pattern grey hull material. Again, we're seeing the thruster effect midship there for some weird reason. And then we'll do the engine trail. So we've got the yellow and golden colour there, which does marry up with the engine effects that the shield puts on the ship. This is a very popular shield in the game. This is the Baul Vanity shield. This black hull material, and we've got quite a bit of this cyan lighting effects here. See that pulsating white light there on the top. The red just standing out lovely against this dark hull material. And with this dull cyan patterned deflector array. The cyan lighting there for both the Bassard collector and the nacelle. And then we'll zoom right in here. And with this lovely red impulse engines. And we'll notice that the painted glow effect from the ship itself is actually masked with a shield, so that's quite nice to see. Makes it look cleaner. And some more of the cyan lighting there at the rear. As we look down, we can see that etched pattern design within the hull material. And then with the same there on the underside, with more of that cyan lighting there as well. Now with the impulse engines acting as thrusters there. So for the engine effects off of this shield, and it's the standard Federation ones of the red and blue there, so it's not marrying up with the engine colouring from the shield. So next up we're looking at the Borg Vanity shield. So this gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel, not an assimilated one. So we've got this grey patterned hull material, and the pattern's made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plating. So a touch of this yellow lighting effect here, and some of the blue also. So that's exposed areas of hull with a black conduit material and associated lighting. And you can see that more round here, and we'll zoom in a bit so you can make out the detail there. Now with this lovely blue patterned deflector array. Then we have the blue there for the nacelle and the Bassard collectors, and you see it does taper off at the ends there. And we've got some more of that conduit material there on the nacelle. Then we have the blue there of the impulse engines, and even though the impulse engines are blue, they always seem to apply this red colouring effect as well, and no matter what ship is applied to. Again there, more of that conduit material. Then the same here on the underside, with some more touches of the blue illumination there as well. You'll notice there's no thruster effect there. And for the engine effect, there isn't any on this shield, so no engine trails at all. So this is the Courier Vanity shield. It's one of the older shields in the game. It's not to be confused with the new Breen Courier Vanity shield. And for this one, I suggest you either put a light on, turn down the brightness on your monitor, or put a pair of sunglasses on, because this will get a bit bright. Not quite as bright as Earth Space Stock ship customizer, mind you, but not far off it. So we've got this bare metal colouring effect here for the hull material with some black shading. We then have the white patterned deflector array with just a hint of a blue illumination to it. And we've got the white there on the Bassard and the nacelles. We do have white there for the impulse engines, although the light hitting off this hull is slightly blinding, as you can see as I rotate up. And then the same here for the underside with the almost metallic kind of material there. and the black shading as well. And again, we've got this red, for some weird bizarre reason, thruster effect coming out of the impulse engines. Then the engine trail with this almost boiling water kind of effect there. But then it goes into the standard red and blue rather than being white. So that's a bit disappointing there. So this is the Discovery Vanity Shield. So this is one of the shields in the game that has a different visual appearance depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, you get the look of Starfleet vessels in Season 1 of Discovery. So I have this two-tone patterned grey hull material. You can see here at the front, with a bit of this very pale blue honeycomb material there. The same here on the edges and at the front. Now we'll look at this white deflector array with this blue spoke pattern. Then it's got this blue patterned facade collector and a darker blue nacelle colouring there. Then with this red stretched honeycomb pattern for the impulse engines. More of that pale blue pattern effect there at the rear. You see the different shades of grey there with the pattern within it as we look down. And the same here on the underside with some more of the blue illumination there as well. So no thruster effect coming off the engines this time. Then for the engine trails, they are white for some weird bizarre reason. So this really should have been the one on the Courier Vanity Shield, and this could have just had the standard Federation one with the red and blue, which would have worked with this shield's effect on the engine colours. So this is the Discovery Refit Vanity Shield. So we've got the two-tone grey hull material again, just darker shades compared to the Discovery one. This lovely blue and white patterned deflector there with some more blue outline. Then we have the white for the facade collectors, blue and white there for the nacelles. And then we have the red there for the impulse engines. See a bit of a pattern within the hull material as well. And with the same here on the underside. That's more of the blue and white there. And for the engine trails in this one, they do match up with the engine effects from the shield. So we've got this orangey red, and then we've got this bluish white. Next up is the emerald chain vanity shield. So we have this brownish grey two-tone hull material. And we have this dirty white colouring for the deflector, so you can see some of the grey and the dull white there. We have the same there for the Bassard collectors and the nacelles. You can also see some of the lighting there on the side. Then we have the same off-white there for the impulse engines. You can see the pattern detail there on the hull material. Now more of that pattern two-tone hull material there on the underside. And some more of that off-white illumination there. Random spot for a thruster effect there. Then as for the engine trails, they're almost identical to that of the Discovery Refit ones, unfortunately, so they're not marrying up with the effect that the shield's putting on the engines of the ship. This is the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So we have this grey hull material, and we see a touch of purple shading up here. When I zoom in a bit closer, we can make it this blue dot illumination. So that is throughout the full hull material, and gives almost a starfield kind of appearance to it. We have this lovely orange pattern deflector with a touch of yellow illumination around the outside. And it's given this blue glow to it as well, which is a bit odd. Then we have the yellow and white there for both the Bassard collectors and the nacelles. Then we have the cyan lighting there for the impulse engines, and there's that purple shading there. And then the shade of the hull there, you can see the blue dot illumination. It is marrying up with the starfield behind it. Then with some more of the yellow illumination there as well. Again, random spot for having a thruster effect coming out of the hull. Then for the engine effects themselves, they do match the effect the shield is having. So we've got the yellow nacelle trails and the cyan blue there for the impulse trails. Next up, it's the Ferengi Vanity Shield. So we've got this orange hull material that we've seen in the vessels in the TV shows. I did have the weird thought there that it reminds me of the You've Been Tangled adverts, but it was just a passing thought. We've also got some gold shading as well, and some grey there. I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see that rivet detail within the hull material as well. Then we have the yellow patterned deflector array there with that honeycomb pattern, and some lighter yellow around the edges. It's still got a bit of a blue glow to it. Then it's a bit more green as we look at the side there. Then we have the yellow and the lighter yellow there, with the Bassard collectors and the cells respectively. Bit more of the rivet detail there at the rear. Then we have the yellow there for the impulse engines. Again, quite a bit more of that rivet detail. You see the pattern there in the orange hull material. And it's just replicated there on the underside. A touch more of the yellow illumination there as well. And random spot for a thruster effect. Every other ship's had it on the end of the nacelles, and this is mid-hull with no ports apparently. So for the engine trail, it marries up with the shield effect. So we have the yellow engine trails coming off both the nacelle and the impulse engines there. Next up, we are looking at the Hur'q Vanity shield. So we have this green and purplish shading here. And we also see some of this illuminated green material also, and a bit of a pattern there at the rear. Then with this black shading giving a textured effect at certain points of the hull material. Then we have this nice patterned green deflector there. Again, still with the blue glow to it, so I wonder if that's maybe just painted on lighting that the shield's not covering. There's some of that illuminated pattern material there as well around the outside. Then we see the green there for the Bassard and the nacelle, and more of that illuminated green material there on the nacelle itself. And then we've got the green there for the impulse engines with the painted red glow on the hull material, unfortunately. And more of the illuminated green material there at the back. Again, more of the textured pattern there on the underside. The two-tone hull material and more of the green illumination there as well. And not to disappoint, we have the random thruster effect mid-hull. Then for the engine trails in this one, we are yellow. So again, this one's not really marrying up with the engine effects off the shield on the ship, unfortunately. So next up, we're looking at the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. So this one, similar to the Discovery one, has two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, you get the look of Starfleet vessels in the reboot films. So we've got the grey hull material, then we've got this blue pattern deflector, which is very similar to that of the Enterprise in the reboot films. Then unfortunately we've got this god-awful Bassard collector effect of the shield being applied there. I do wish they'd just change that to a blue or something, because that effect doesn't work on about 99% of the ships in the game. Then the other 1% is the ones that don't actually have the Bassard collectors changing. Then we have the blue and white there for the nacelle colouring. Then we have that orange patterned impulse engine, again with the painted on lighting effects. It does get a bit bright when the light hits it. On the underside again, it's just that patterned hull material and some of this blue and white illumination there. And we've got the thrust effect coming from the impulse ports this time. Then for the engine trails, it's the standard Federation ones, so that reddish orange and the blue. If they made that a bit lighter orange and a bit lighter blue, it would have married up quite nicely. So here we have the Prodigy Vanity Shield. So it's quickly becoming one of my favourite shields in the game, purely because of its looks, as I really cannot stand the show that it's from. So it's this lovely grey hull material that does it for me. Got a very bright yellow and white deflector there. This blue illumination just round the outer edges. Then we have the white with a touch of blue there for the Bassard collector. This lovely blue here for the nacelle colour. And then we've got the red there for the impulse engines. See a bit of the pattern design there within the hull material as well. See, I think that grey just looks really nice on most of the ships in the game. So again, that grey there on the underside, some more of the blue illumination. Then we've got this little bit of a pattern design here with some blue illumination there as well. And we get the thruster effects from the impulse engines there. And then for the engine trails, they do marry up quite nicely with the red and the lighter blue there. So that looks quite nice. Next up's another popular shield in the game, and this is the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So we can see the different shades of the hull material there. And if I zoom in close, you can see this almost check pattern to it. And this lovely cyan deflector pattern here. It does stand out quite nicely there against the darker hull material. You'll note that the Bassard collectors are blacked out on this one. And we have the cyan there for the nacelles. Touch of red illumination there at the rear of the nacelle. Then we have that red honeycomb pattern there on the impulse engines. You can see that check pattern within the hull material there. Touch of a stripe pattern as well. Then with the same there on the underside, and again some more of that cyan illumination there. Again, random spot for a thruster effect. And then for the engine trail, bit too orange I think for the red impulse engines there, and that could be a bit richer on the nacelle colouring. Next up, we're looking at the Shrike Vanity Shield. So I have this rusty orange hull material with this burgundy shading as well, and some touches of grey. Then we've got a target for your deflector. Who doesn't want a target on the front of your ship? Then with the red and yellow there. We have the white and touches of orange there for the facade collectors, and the orange for the nacelle colouring itself. And we zoom in a bit on the impulse engines, so we've got the red and lighter orange there. Touches of grey there as well. Then for the underside, we're pretty much a repeat of the top side with some additional orange illumination. Again, random position for the thrusters. Then for the engine trail, we have red for the nacelles and yellow off the impulse engines. So it doesn't really marry up with the colours that the shield's putting on the ship, unfortunately. Here we have the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield. So I have green, grey, black and an illuminated panel material as the hull material on this one. It's got this carved pattern within it. If I zoom in a bit here on the top, you can see the pulsating light effect there. A touch of this nice orange illumination there also, and even around these ports here you can see the illuminated panels just pulsating away. Then we have this nice orange deflector with some white illumination there and some more of that illuminated panel. Again, the pulsating light effects there. Then we have this patterned white facade collector, white there on the nacelle. And with the white there for the impulse engines, and with the orange illumination there, which is quite a nice touch. And again, more of that pulsating light paneling effect there. Again, you see that black shading just there at the rear. And we're just the same here on the underside. Some additional white lighting there. And some more of the pulsating lights as well. Then for the engine trails, we have white. So they do marry up with the effects that the shield is putting on the ship. And on to the last shield that's currently available in the Dilithium store, and this is the Zhat Vash Vanity Shield. So some sandy brown and olive green hull shading there, and some touches of grey. This nice green, bright patterned deflector array. Unfortunately, with the blue glow still there, I think that really should be green. Then we have this white and green patterned facade collector. The green into white there on the nacelles. We have the red there for the impulse engines. And just with the colours of this one and the pattern, always puts me in mind of an army camouflage kind of effect. Then on the underside, again, more of that two-tone hull material and some more of the green illumination there. Thruster effect actually coming from the impulse ports this time. And then for the engine trail in this one, we are unfortunately back to the standard Federation 1. Either they just made that engine trail green to marry up with the nacelles, it would have worked very nicely. Unfortunately, they haven't. And that concludes the video on the Da Vinci. So, as always, thank you all very much for watching. Quite enjoyed doing this one, as I do like the ship. And so it's looked really nice with quite a few of the shields on it. So, in the description down below, I have my social media links, so my X and Blue Sky. I've also got my real merch affiliate link, so you can get 5% off your first order through realmerch.com. I've also got the STO wiki and the main Star Trek Online news blogs there as well. And for other content, I have Casual Sab, Nick NB and MC Stews, YouTube and Twitch channels listed there. So if you haven't checked them out, please do so. Drop them a like and a sub. Great bunch of guys, very knowledgeable, very helpful as well, and they have a variety of content available. So that's it from me. So until the next live stream or the next video, thanks again for watching.